This is a poem I wrote about when I was not too much older than most of you. And I was in a band in Ann Arbor, Michigan. And we used to play, there was this place called The Lab, and it was just these kids had like a house, and they just had shows in their basement. It was like smaller than this stage, the whole basement, and there would be like 100 kids in there. So this is called The Lab. The world was on fire. It was the early 90s in a spot called The Lab in Ann Arbor, Michigan. It's like 9 o'clock on a Saturday night. Warm kids and cool bands with hot names like Tiger Beat, Jax, Gun Rack, and Motherload. High schoolers and undergraduates from the University of Michigan. Acoustic kids with electric hearts. Horn-rimmed girls and tight boys with rock pants, all packed in to this tiny basement, dancing. On stage, my head almost hits the ceiling. Gotta remember not to jump. We're a post-punk, neo-funk, grunge rock band, and though it's dated now, we were finding ourselves in Minor Threat covers, clumsy originals, and protest songs. In the Terror Dome, I wanted to be Public Enemy #1. At the end of the world, I was the dreaded town crier, using the microphone as a knife to cut the words from my throat. Behind me, Tammy was a set of bass strings, laying the foundation of a whole new planet, and there at the edge of it was Kevin Yoon, guitar screaming in every way his Korean body and soul never could. But the world was on fire. Our axes intoxicated and staggered the stage. We held them like bottles we knew couldn't break, no matter how hard we tried. With each swing of my head, I felt every dread crash into Tammy's locks as we just jammed. There was Tammy, Kevin, Eric, me, some other brown skins, and a small sea of white kids, poured into that room like a big puddle of gasoline. And though we lit each other's fires, we were careful with it. Crashed into each other, banged our worlds together the way Lindsay banged his cymbals, while Ben plucked the strings of a Strat that told us rich kids get the blues too. And when we weren't on stage, which was like never, we looked like some strange committee from the United Nations come to electrify the world. We were integrated and alienated, straight but not narrow, limp-wristed, bling, trash, and working class. We were screamers, headbangers, Afro-punks and B-girls, cool yet nervous, mathematical garbage men's daughters and sons. We were music. We were vessels, slave ships, and stealth bombers. Korea meets Poland meets Africa. That big granite rock sound wailing its way through tiny amplifiers. We were each other's fires, comrades. The audience was ours, but we belonged to them. All of us flailing, screaming, moshing, and writhing, pumping skinny fists through air fat with smoke. Some of us hit the floor from too much Milwaukee's best. Others passed out from the heat, but remember, the world was on fire. It was like a Huron river of fire, the color of blood, wine, and whiskey, the way spit looks when it soars up in the spotlight. We were rocking, funk, and pop, and punk, and all that jazz. Sometimes I rewind the tape and I wonder how we got away with it. The lab isn't there anymore. It went down in flames because things that burned brightest burned quickly. But man, while it was raging, it was a powder keg, and we were but a handful of sparks.